Hey, what's up everyone? This is Poggy with TGN, and today I am building what I'm calling the James Bond house, and while this house actually doesn't look anything like the James Bond house actually should, and I'm calling it that because of the idea of building the house into the mountains, I'm calling it my James Bond house. Now the first thing I want to say about this house is that it is probably, well, no, it is the most challenging house I think I've ever built, and I think the only reason for that is simply because of the terrain issues. Having to build it into the mountains the way I did, I'm trying to experiment with them. You can see me here, undoing and redoing the ground here, the groundwork, and I'm just struggling to get it right, and eventually I do figure out exactly how I want it, and the design that I originally had to be changed significantly simply because of restrictions within the game itself, not being able to do certain things in a certain way. You kind of have to experiment with it, and so I took the original design and just changed it enough so that it would work for what I was going for here. Now what I am actually building here is the patio, the outdoor patio. It's going to be out front, and it's going to look over onto the beach. Now this was actually a community lot, mind you. This was originally a lot, a community lot. I turned it into a residential lot. This is on the beach in Ridgeport, I think, and it was a community lot, but you can see I've made it into a normal one. There's a lot more space in this little corner, but I just really wanted to, I don't know, I just really wanted to put the house in the corner of the, the area here. And the reason for that was because it kind of gives it that James Bond feel, like you feel like you're in the mountain, kind of, and I really like that feel, and I really wanted to capture that in this particular build. Now what I am doing here is putting up the rails, and I am going to be fiddling more with this terrain. You'll see me really messing with the terrain. I am going to put some trees up here to kind of block off the hideous look of the trellis there on the side of the thing, the deck. There we go. And you're going to see me really have a lot of trouble with this terrain. And I mean, seriously, probably the most challenging thing I've ever had to do was this particular house because of the terrain issues. And if you have any questions when you're trying to do this yourself, of course, you can ask me in the comments below, or you can email me at poggy@tgn.tv if you have any questions about dealing with the terrain. There are some ways you can cheat using move objects on, for example. It allows you to place objects over anything and move it anywhere you want. There's also another one that I like to use, which is force elevation, I think, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. I'll put it in the description, or I'll put it in an annotation over this. But it allows you to move the terrain regardless of the objects around it, so that it doesn't, give you that, you can't do it. So I am decorating a pond here. I decided to put a pond for no particular reason other than I just wanted to put a pond there. And you see I covered up that little part where the actual lot ends by putting a tree there. So here we're going to put a driveway, and this is so you can basically park your cars along here. And you're going to see I'm going to have, once again, trouble with the terrain a little bit here, trying to get it just right, trying to get it matching up with the ground, but you also want it to look like a natural driveway. You don't want it to look so much like it's part of the ground necessarily. And I think I went for shale, dirt, and what was it? I know it was shale, and I went for dirt a little bit, and I went for, I think I threw some sand on there, but you'll see me kind of like paint over it. I'm basically just putting out the rough sketch here, and then I'm gonna kind of paint over it, make it a little bit more artistic looking. And oh, there's some grass. You had to blend it in with the grass there. Yeah, there's the dirt, and the light dirt and the dark dirt. That's what it was. And yeah, kind of like nice and blended. That way it doesn't look so crappy. Here I was going to put a barrier around it, but I thought it looked really bad, so I just got rid of it. Continuing on, we finally did get these stairs up here, and I went ahead and put the I continued the barrier down into there. That way it, if you fall or whatever, and also it just kind of looks nice as well, I think. I'm trying to smooth out the ground as much as I can so that my Sims can actually walk across it, otherwise you're going to have all kinds of problems. And here you are, actually, I'm actually going to paint over it with a little bit of sand, that way it looks like the beach sand kind of went over the rocks there. So, I really like the way that looks, I love it. And I really like the way this house turned out in the end, and you'll see if you just keep watching, it'll make sense soon. So this is the actual house now. I did all the landscaping was pretty much the first thing I wanted to get out of the way, because I knew I wanted to get that done first. This house is very, very small, and I had no idea just how small it was going to be until I actually tried to put furniture in it and found myself in, well, you'll see. I'm quite a predicament, let's say. Quite the horrible predicament, actually. And it's a 2-story house. I used the spiral staircase that I think you get with... Is it Ambitions or Generation? I think it's Ambitions that gives you the spiral staircase. And so, the expansion pack, if you want to get spiral staircases, you are going to need Ambitions to do that. I am putting a patio deck out here. I did end up making it 1 notch shorter because the fence wouldn't come out and I didn't want to put giant pillars underneath it. I could have just put them out there and then, but also it would look kind of a little bit too long, I think. So I kind of was satisfied with this length, this size of a patio here. Going with the nice wood floors on the outside, I think it looks really good, and a lot of glass up here, as you can see. Also going to be changing the roof a little bit here in a minute. Also, this roof that I put in the back is on the wrong height. I have to fix that, but I'll do that in a minute. You'll see me go back and go, whoops, I can't put any furniture in that room. So, continuing on, here we're going to be putting the kitchen together. I kind of fast-forwarded because there was a lot of stuff you just didn't need to see. Just a mess of me fiddling with the roof and stuff like that. So, here we are putting in the kitchen. And just gonna throw in some lights, and the kitchen is very small, but it's functional and it works. I think it's not really much of a dining hall or anything like that, but it's not a very big house. It's not meant for very many people. Maybe a single couple or a brother and sister, or brother and brother. Small family, not any children. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, but it has, I want to say, 3 living areas. But not really. The bedroom has a living area within it, and the downstairs has a foyer with a seating area, and then the actual living room is next to it. I really liked what I did with the rocks there with the mirrors. I thought that looked good. I kind of got that idea from watching Curtis Parody show. I really liked what he did with that, and I just wanted to see if it looked good in this house, and it really looks great. It looks very modern. So, bravo, Curtis. That was a good one. Curtis Parody, if you don't know him, you need to look him up. He's awesome. So here we go. We are now trying to fit this furniture in here, and you'll see me just struggling with this. And I realized, because my original plan was to have a nice sofa in here with a chair, and I'm like, this is too big. And then a coffee table is just going to really make it too big. And so I'm sitting here thinking, well, what can I do? What can I, pick? And then that looks stupid. And then I said, screw that. And then I went and grabbed the small dining table, and I was going to make this a dining room. And I'm like, well, I don't really need 2 dining rooms. There's not going to be that many people in this house anyway. So eventually I'm going to scrap this idea, plus it looks like crap in there anyway. So I scrapped that, and I'm like, okay, we're just going to do 2 chairs, and we're going to do a rug, and we're going to do a flower box, and then we're going to add a very small coffee table and an end table. And so you'll see here in a minute what I end up choosing. I'm going to change the color of this wall up here, and you'll see how I kind of make everything match up. I am going to go for a light blue, I think, was it? I think I went for a light blue at some point. I'm not sure if I changed it to light blue or not. I'm not sure what I kept it at. I think it was light blue at the top. So coming in here and putting a bookshelf in, that's what that corner was for, was to put a bookshelf. We're going to put our little nightstand there, or our end table. We're going to put a flower there, and then we're going to get a small coffee table and put it in the middle of the room. So once again, move objects on is really good for this, but at the same time you want to make it so that your Sims can actually use these objects. You don't want it to just be, there for looks and they can't even sit down because there's too much stuff in the way. Now that coffee table did end up being too big, and that one too, so I went for the very smaller, not really noticeable coffee table, just enough to put a drink on or a plate. So now we're moving on to the actual living room. That's just the kind of foyer seating room. This is the actual living room where I'm putting in a nice love seat and a big screen TV and a stereo. And you'll see here that I am going to be using some cheese to try to get everything going correctly. Trying to move everything around correctly. It's not as easy as it looks. Putting up some lights. Got a rug there that kind of ties it together, I think. I bring a base in here and an art easel in here, although neither of those two things are really necessary, but I put them in there mostly because I think they look nice in that corner next to the spiral staircase. I mean, what you put in there is entirely your prerogative, of course. You can always change it, or put something else in there, or just take it out completely. And then we are going to be putting our windows there that lead out to the, that let the light in from the outside. And now we're going into the bedroom, and this is the part where I'm going to realize that the roof is too short, and I have to fix that again. Because I'm trying to put this bed in here, I'm like, why won't the bed go in here? And then it turns out, because the roof is actually on the wrong level, so I had to scrap that and redo it. Actually didn't even do it right the first time. I was like, what am I doing with this roof? So I deleted it, and I realized there were actually no walls on that part of the house. I had to put walls up. So, like I said, this ended up being a very compact, very difficult house to build as a result of all these really simple mistakes in some ways, but at the same time, I mean, anybody would do this. Like, this is very difficult to do, this particular house, this particular build. And that little thing in front of the front door, I don't know what that is. I think that's just a graphics glitch, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, I didn't put that there, in case you were wondering. So yeah, I did put a little plant in the corner there. I put a mirror up there on the wall, a dresser, an end table, and a basic two-person bed. And here's where the second little kind of entertainment area is going to be. It's going to be another love seat and a sofa, a chair, and an entertainment center. I'm going to put some lights in the room, and then I'm also going to throw down a couple of outdoor chairs for the outside. I really like the outdoor chairs that I picked. I think they work really well, and I put up a little bird bath in there. I think that came with Nightlife, if I'm not mistaken. No, it may have come with not Generations, World Adventures. I think it came with World Adventures. So yeah, I am gonna change the wallpaper in here to a bluish, kind of a bluish with the brown. I think it ties together the sofas and the floor really well. And in here, you're gonna see me kind of have trouble with this bathroom. And the reason I'm having trouble with it is because of the location of the door, plus the location of the outside door. Now, for some reason, I opted to put a door going to the outside from the bathroom. And I'm not sure why, I guess, so you can go inside from the outside, I'm not sure. But it wasn't necessary, so I got rid of it. And then I put the wall up because I forgot there wasn't a wall there. And continuing on, here you are going to see me put a lot of glass windows on this bathroom, which most people would think is kind of weird to have bathroom windows that big while you're sitting there looking out onto the beach. But the reason I did that was because I think it looks awesome. And if you're living here with someone, it's likely going to be someone you want to live with. It's not going to be some random roommate, because you're not going to sleep in a bed with a random roommate. It's just not going to happen. So I did that because I thought, if you're living here, you're probably living here with your wife or your brother or sister or something like that, and it's not going to be that big a deal if they see you taking a crap, or what have you. So I thought that was and plus it reminded me of the glass bathroom from, I can't remember, it was from a YouTube video that I saw a while ago, where they actually had a glass toilet in the middle of nowhere, just like in the middle of a town. Anyway, here I am putting up plants on the outside here, and I put up some bulbs as well for the outside lights. Here I was trying to put something over here. I didn't know what I wanted to put, though, and then I finally opted for a, well, I did put a grill over there. What did I put over there? That's right, fire pit. I put a fire pit over there, which I thought was kind of cool. And that is pretty much the end of the build, I think. I think that's about it. I am going to fiddle with the roof a little bit more and just kind of, get the kinks out of it. Other than that, put some lights down on the trail, did all the landscaping already, and I think that's the end of that. So, yeah, I think that's it. We're just going to move the trash can out of there and put it back up front, and we're done. And here is the front of the house at night. I think it looks beautiful. I would absolutely love to live in that house. Here it is during the day. Once again, very pretty. Very nice house. Kind of has that James Bond feel. This is the kitchen from the outside. I really like the way that looks. And then this is the outside front of the house. What I did at the top there, I don't know if you saw that, there was actually plants up there. I used the moved objects on cheat to put those plants up there, and then I added some lights in front of them. Oh, and feel free to download it. There is a link below that you can download it from, so I will leave the link there, and you can download it, and I will see you next time.